The bus station cafe hummed with tired energy, suitcases thumping against chair legs, the hiss of the espresso machine, a radio somewhere near the ceiling mumbling afternoon news. Mark preferred places like this. Nobody lingered long enough to ask questions, and everyone was too busy going somewhere else to notice a single dad with a child and a stack of worries. He sat at a small round table near the window, sunlight catching the rim of his paper cup. The coffee had gone cold, but he kept holding it anyway. Across from him, his 5-year-old son Leo was sprawled on his knees, coloring fiercely, tongue poking out in concentration. "Daddy," Leo said, holding up his drawing. "This one has super legs." Mark smiled, leaning in. "Looks powerful." Leo nodded solemnly. "He can run away from bad guys." Mark felt the familiar ache behind his ribs, the wish that life really worked like that. He ruffled Leo's hair. "Good thinking." They were waiting. Mark didn't quite know for what. The job interview upstairs had ended with polite nods and vague promises. The bus tickets in his pocket were one way, because round trips assumed certainty. Waiting had become a habit. A shadow fell across the table. "Excuse me," a soft voice said. "Can I sit here?" Mark looked up. The girl couldn't have been older than 11. She held her tray carefully, shoulders straight, chin lifted just enough to look brave. Her brown hair was braided neatly down her back. One leg was flesh and sneaker. The other was metal, smooth, jointed, catching the cafe lights with a quiet gleam. The prosthetic foot rested slightly forward, perfectly balanced. For a second, Mark noticed everything at once. The way nearby conversations dipped, the way eyes flicked and turned away too late, the way the girl pretended not to notice. He also noticed something else. How she didn't lean on the table, didn't ask again, didn't apologize for existing. He almost said, "Sure, go ahead." But something about the question bothered him. Not the asking. He understood that. But the way the world had taught her she needed permission to take up space. So instead, Mark stood, pulled the chair back gently, and said, "You don't have to ask. This seat is yours." The girl blinked, clearly not expecting that. "Oh, okay, thanks." She slid into the chair, setting her tray down with practiced ease. Leo looked up from his drawing, eyes wide and curious, then broke into a grin. "Hi," Leo said. "I'm Leo. That's a robot leg." Mark inhaled sharply, ready to correct him, but the girl laughed before he could speak. It was a quick, surprised sound, like a door opening. "Yeah," she said, "I guess it kind of is. I'm Maya." "Robots are cool," Leo added confidently. "Agreed," Mark said, relaxing. "I'm Mark." Maya unwrapped her sandwich, hands steady. For a moment, they ate in silence. Outside, a bus roared away, leaving behind a cloud of exhaust and a few disappointed passengers. Leo pushed one of his crayons toward Maya. "Do you want to color?" Maya hesitated, then smiled. "Sure." She took the crayon and began sketching a small circle. "Your dinosaur," she said, glancing at Leo's paper, "looks like he could protect a city." "He does," Leo said. "He's brave. He lost his tail once." Maya paused, then nodded thoughtfully. "I lost something too," she said, not sad, not dramatic, just honest. "But you get used to it." Mark felt something tighten in his chest. Not pity, recognition. He knew what it meant to lose something and learn how to keep going anyway. "Does your robot leg make you faster?" Leo asked. "Sometimes," Maya replied, "on smooth ground." Leo nodded, satisfied. "That's fair." Mark smiled despite himself. Maya glanced around the cafe, then back at Mark. "You're waiting for a bus." "Eventually," Mark said. My mom's buying tickets," Maya said, nodding toward the counter. A woman stood there, tired but attentive, clutching a wallet and checking her phone. She looked up and waved. Maya waved back. "She said to sit where I felt comfortable," Maya added quietly. Mark nodded. He wondered how often that choice felt complicated. "Just you and him?" Maya asked, looking at Leo. "Yeah," Mark said, "just us." She didn't ask anything else. No "where's his mom?" No awkward pause. Mark appreciated that more than she could know. Leo finished his picture and slid it across the table. "You can have it," he said. "For luck." Maya took the paper carefully. It showed a lopsided dinosaur with enormous legs and a crooked smile. Thank you, she said. I'll keep it. The radio changed songs. The cafe noise swelled again. For a moment, the table felt like its own small island. 3 people who hadn't planned to meet, sharing space without explanations. What are you waiting for? Maya asked suddenly. Mark considered the question. He thought of bills, interviews, the quiet promise he'd made to Leo that things would get better. He thought of how much he didn't know. For the next thing, he said finally. Whatever comes next.